I'm Emma.
And I'm Teresa.
And we are the Canadian representatives for SOMAR's 2023 Research Got Talent competition. We're pleased to have the opportunity to present to you the work we've been conducting over the past couple of months with our local YMCA, the YMCA of Greater Halifax and Dartmouth, Centre for Immigrant Programs. Our project is entitled Pathways to Inclusion, Understanding Workplace Challenges for Newcomers.
In order to provide meaningful insights into the challenges faced by newcomers as they embark upon work in Canada, a multi-phased approach was conducted for our project. The quantitative research with the broader Canadian population preceded qualitative research.
Before we go into too much detail about the methodology we used in our project, we wanted to talk a little bit about the YMCA and the amazing work that they do.
The YMCA Immigrant Services team makes several commitments, all of which are clearly reflected in the programs and services that they provide.
We try to advocate for our clients and connect our clients to the employers, and we kind of connected them to our SPELL program, who do English for the workplace. We also advocate for our clients' like skills and their experience, so sometimes it is still difficult, but we try our best.
As a team, we provide one-on-one sessions for individuals on resume and cover letter writings, also mock job interviews. We analyze newcomers' needs and skills, and based on that, we match their skills with potential job opportunities and, of course, establish connections with employers.
Part of my responsibilities is designing and delivering trainings, and one of the trainings that I do is called Employment Hub. This training dedicated to creating resume, creating cover letters, and also teaching people how to pass job interviews.
In order to better serve the YMCA in their efforts to support newcomers who are looking for employment, we came up with a variety of objectives. These included understanding how Canadians define the term newcomer, understanding what challenges newcomers face becoming gainfully employed in Canada, exploring what challenges newcomers face once employed in a Canadian workforce, assessing if newcomers feel welcome in Canadian workplaces, determining what employers can do to reduce or eliminate barriers to employment for newcomers, and identifying positive past experiences in workplaces and understanding what initiatives should be further developed or continued in the future.
By achieving these objectives, it's expected that we will have a large impact on the YMCA's programming for their immigrant services team.
So the research will help us better understand the perspectives of new arrivals and how additional programming or adjusted programming can make their integration process smoother. It will also give us good information to share with employers that we partner with throughout the province to be able to help them create safer and more welcoming spaces for folks who are just calling Nova Scotia home for the first time.
We designed our project with a two-phased approach, starting with a quantitative survey of the general population of Canada and a qualitative component consisting of a series of in-depth interviews with newcomers. The online quantitative survey was sent to a sample size of 801. We included quotas for age, gender, and region based on the 2021 Canadian Census, and the length of the survey was between 8 to 10 minutes.
Our second phase of research was a series of one-on-one qualitative interviews with newcomers. All of these newcomers were clients of the YMCA of Greater Halifax and Dartmouth, and this was intentional because this is the population that the YMCA is going to be serving. All of the newcomers that we interviewed were screened prior to being interviewed to ensure they were employed in at least a part-time position. We surveyed 14 newcomers, 6 in person and 8 online. The interviews were 25 to 30 minutes in length.
We encountered a variety of challenges during our data collection process. During the quantitative survey phase, we ran into limitations meeting our required quotas on certain age and demographic data, and therefore had to wait our final survey results.
For our qualitative research, we faced 2 main challenges. The first was with recruitment. For this, we asked for help from the YMCA to speak directly to their clients. We also offered a $50 incentive to anyone who participated in order to increase participation rates. The other main challenge we faced was that of a language barrier. For those participants, we worked collaboratively with the YMCA to offer interpretation services in their native language. From this research, we were able to collect a variety of meaningful insights from participants across Canada as well as those within our local community.
To begin, we'll start with the results from our quantitative survey. First, we'll start with the definition of the term newcomer. When it comes to a general general definition of newcomer, Canadians seem to understand that it refers simply to someone who is new to a place. Among those who provided a numeric answer, immigrants are still considered newcomers after 5 years in Canada on average.
Within our survey, we focused on a subset of Canadians that work full-time, part-time, or are self-employed. When considering those aspects of workplace culture that facilitate diversity, equity, and inclusion, taking appropriate action in response to discrimination, bias, and harassment, as well as employees of all cultures and backgrounds are valued and respected, should be prioritized in the workplace DEI efforts.
Next, we'll move on to newcomers and the Canadian workplace. Among the 48% of people who are employed and who have worked with newcomers, notably only 15% of people have worked in a place that has practices to better accommodate newcomers. Suggestions for workplace accommodations range from job pairing or mentorship at work to additional and language training and increased inclusivity at work, both culturally and physically.
When it comes to the impact newcomers have on the Canadian economy, most respondents agree that the contribution of newcomers to the Canadian economy is important. Of note, Canadians are most likely to agree with the statement that internationally trained professionals are required to meet the same criteria as Canadian trained professionals. This is an important find given that recognition of foreign credentials is a major hurdle for newcomers.
Next, we asked about the perspectives of newcomers on their workplace experience in Canada. Comparing the support services that were offered to newcomers versus those that were deemed beneficial, we see distinct differences. Those offered most were language training, multilingual training, and cross-cultural training. Half of employed newcomer respondents were not offered any newcomer support services by their workplaces.
When it comes to the challenges that newcomers face in the workplace, there are distinct differences between the perspectives of those who were born in Canada, those who immigrated to Canada 10 years ago or more, and those immigrated to Canada less than 10 years ago. In particular, lack of skills, training, experience, and credentials is cited as the greatest challenge in finding employment among newcomers. It is important to note that non-immigrants did not pick up on these challenges.
Finally, in our quantitative survey component, we addressed workplace barriers for newcomers. Among the suggestions for workplace accommodations are increased flexibility and understanding for the initial adjustment period, and programs for support, training, and mentorship in the workplace.
In the qualitative phase, we focused only on the perspectives of newcomers. Initially, we asked them about their work experience prior to coming to Canada. In many cases, newcomers to Canada have left their home countries with limited options for paid employment. Newcomers represent a diverse mix of educational backgrounds, ranging from graduate degrees to high school or less. Now in Canada, newcomers are rarely employed in the same field they were before, and often are not employed in roles where they are utilizing their skills to the fullest extent.
Next, we asked participants about their job search in Canada. Many newcomers found their first employment opportunity in Canada because they knew someone from before moving to Canada. Those without prior contacts, in several cases, sought the services of organizations like the YMCA, and many cite challenges being competitive in the job market due to difficulties with the English language compared to locals as a key reason for job search delays.
Unsurprisingly, newcomers face a host of challenges when it comes to working in Canada. Some of the most common challenges include relating to and connecting with colleagues, adapting to new tasks, adapting to workplace culture, pressures related to maintaining work visas, mismatch between skills and available jobs, language barriers, foreign credentials not being accepted, mismatch of wage and expenses, and unpaid time off. Newcomers suggest a variety of solutions that offer opportunities for employers to better support newcomers. This includes better on-the-job training, more check-ins from supervisors, and support from their colleagues in a more formalized system.
Incorporating newcomers' perspectives can illuminate, the blind spots.
If we had to do it over again, we would like to have an oversample of newcomers within our quantitative survey. We also would look beyond the clients of our YMCA in order to compare how newcomers in Nova Scotia vary from the rest of Canada. Additionally, this research exposed key issues that we believe should be explored more deeply, particularly evaluating those programs available for recognizing foreign credentials and industries with major gaps in this regard.
Finally, we just want to say a special thank you to the YMCA of Greater Halifax and Dartmouth,
Our research partners, Logit and Maru,
all of the organizations that help put this competition on.
and our employer, Narrative Research. without whom we would not have the skills or support to take part.